Right, okay, so let's get started. I should have left that music on. That music stopped straight away. Awkward silences. This is my first try at streaming some gaming. And so I'm thinking, seeing as it's new, I want to play something that I've played before, and I feel the urge to play a little bit of Kerbal Space Program. If there's any audio or visual problems while sorting this out, please let me know. But I am Sam, or I go by the name the Flapjackal when I'm online, because I like flapjacks and jackals and a pun. So before I go linger too long, I'll start up Kerbal Space Program. So if you don't know, Kerbal Space Program is a little game about basically getting rockets into space. Long story short, and you can have it play it very complicatedly, understanding all sorts of the science and things behind it. But you can also just have fun with it and crash rockets and things like that, and learn vicariously as you go, which is what I did because I'm not smart enough yet to know what Delta V is, but there's always time to learn. So I think the game is loading up. It should be just playing my desktop background now. Yeah, it looks like we can see it in the icon tray at the bottom. So we'll boot it there. How are you all doing? There isn't any of you all yet because nobody watches the stream because I've only just learned how to do it. But my aim is to play some fun games and learn some new things. Learn what Private Division is, the maker of Kerbal Space Program, and this very fashionable looking monkey. So I've got a few screens in front of me. Over here is where all the streaming stuff goes on, and over here is where all the gaming stuff goes on, and you're right in the middle. And so that's what I'll be working with. Kerbal Space Program it always took this long to load, but I assumed that as they updated it, it would go a little faster. But I guess if you've got to simulate an entire physics universe, loading is one of the least of your worries. That is me chasing after any kind of biscuit, whether in zero gravity or not. It always hovers just out of reach, and I'm reaching for it. I do have some biscuits next to me. I won't eat them now because I'll start and then I won't stop. You're in my room because I've got nowhere else to stream. So wardrobes and beds and guitars and things are all in here. I won't show you the floor because I still need to tidy it up. But at the moment I want to spend time playing games with you guys instead, so I'll tidy it afterwards. And tidy it I will, said he. So with this game, you effectively have to build rockets, not from scratch. You're given little parts, odds and ends, and you attach them one to another, and it's more or less, especially if you're learning from the beginning, experimentation as to see what makes a rocket go. And I guess the big aim is to make a rocket go up as opposed to down or sideways, or at least initially you want it to go up. So that's my big aim. My first goal really isn't even necessarily to get a rocket into space. It's to just make it go up without exploding, which, if I remember rightly, when playing Kerbal Space Program, is not it's not as easy as it sounds, because it turns out if you pour several thousand gallons of highly flammable compressed fuel into a giant cylinder and then set fire to it, things do explode. Now, on to yet another moment of loading. Here we are! What's new in Kerbal Space Program? Things! So I almost certainly will have Yeah, it says resume save. I don't want to resume one. I want to start from scratch. And I think I'm going to let's start and call myself Flapjackal. I think I'm going to start in the science mode, where I think you gather science and you unlock things there as you go. Difficulty options, we'll leave them as normal, and we'll get started. I don't know if you want to see my face in the corner of the screen. For now, I'll leave it there, but I am very much able to turn it off. Although it also brings us back to the menu. I'm going to have to fix that. So for now, you are stuck with my face as we arrive at the Space Centre. So this is the land of the Kerbals. Kerbin, as it's named. I'm sure I could read this. Mr. Gene Kerman, the flight director, wants to talk to us, but I do understand a little bit of what I'm doing. Basically, I just need to go to this nice tall building in the middle, the Kerbals, the vehicle assembly building, and we'll build something from there. And we'll jump in. And so, I think that's the first thing. There's lots. Thankfully, with this game, there is lots of help. When I first started it, there wasn't all of these fantastic Kerbals teaching us how to play things. We just had to kind of make things up as we went along. But now you've got me. I don't know what I'm doing either. I know that we need to start off with one of these. There's two kinds of command pods you start off with. One that I don't think carries anybody. It's just got a little computer in it. And then this one carries. It says crew capacity there to the right of that image. So I'm gonna click on that, and now we just build everything off of this. So we have a person sitting in here. In fact, we can say who goes in here. Naturally, it's got to be Jebediah, the stunt man and crazy one of the group. Survives every fall. He already says he's in there. So what do we need to get this off the ground? We need an engine, something that makes it fly upwards. Do you know what? Let's just start off with that. So we'll go down. We've got a list of all these things on the left-hand side. One of them is engines, and it looks like we've only been given one engine. In fact, we've only been given a solid fuel booster. That's the only engine we've got. So we can click on that, and now we've got. We're able to attach it to the top or the bottom of this. We're able to attach it to the sides. Oh, I've got an idea. How many? We can. There's a symmetry option down here. We can have it. Let's put 4 of them on at the same time and see how high we can go. Look, they're all pointing slightly outwards, but I imagine they'll balance each other out. And let's give it a name. First foray into space. Mark 1. Save. And launch. There. How hard was that? Absolutely no problems. We haven't crashed at all. I bet we'll get up there. We'll launch. We'll rocket off into space. Oh, it's tiny. It's a tiny little thing. We're on the launch pad, and we can see all the previous scorchings of, I guess, all the other Kerbals learning how to make rockets. We can see the moon over there in the distance. Maybe we'll make that our goal one day. We've also got some islands and the sea over there. We've got the rest of the space station over here. And I do know that because, if you look down here in the bottom left, we've got these 4 boosters are all in the first stage. And if you hit space on the keyboard, it should just activate the first stage. So my guess is that when we press that, all of these boosters will ignite at the same time. So I mean, shall we count down? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, the most unconventional counting rhythm ever. 3, 2, 1, launch. Whoa! Oh, there we go. That looks like a rocket. Oh, see? Easy to get into space. Oh, okay. Well, we have spun out of the way, and we haven't attached anything to the rocket to make it controllable. So, look, we're just casually soaring through the air. Maybe we won't come back down. Maybe this is where we live. Maybe we'll learn to fly with the birds. Kerbal, what's his name? Jebediah is having a fantastic time down here in the bottom right. Maybe he doesn't know what's coming, because it does look like we're approaching the ground at a relatively high speed. There's something down there on the ground. Little black object of some sort. Maybe we'll land next to it. Well, we haven't crashed yet. That's being optimistic. Oh, and okay, well that looks like an explosion. Jebediah's fine. I told you we'd survive it. I have just realised my face on this screen will be in the way of some of these instruments. Let's move me over there, and if I go back in the game, you can see some of the instruments. I will have pointed to something in the bottom left earlier, and you won't been able to be there. Well, Jebediah, I know that we can get you out of there, and we can have a wander around. How was your first trip? You didn't quite make space. There definitely is something over there, building of some sort. Well, look, we've learned something. While we're here, let's can we plant? Yeah, let's plant a flag. Our first launch. We landed 1.5 kilometers away from where we lifted off. We should write something on this plaque. Jebediah's first steps from the lander. There, see, we planted a flag. He's got, this game has changed since I played it. We've got an inventory of sorts, whatever that is. Well, we can take a surface sample. Let's do that. Let's learn something while we're here. Let's get our trowel out and keep the experiment, I guess. Look, so we gather science. So this green stuff, this green bar over here, we can gather a certain amount of science if we can bring it back home. So we're going to keep that experiment, because I think as we unlock science, we unlock different things in the VAB, the vehicle assembly building. The VAB is what we call it. So that was nice. Look, that wasn't as much of a disaster as I was secretly thinking it was going to be. We only crashed once, and we didn't explode. And do you know what? Us not exploding is the primary goal. So what I think I can do is go back to the Space Center and effectively finish that mission from the Space Center and get all the science back from it. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's learn. We've got a few things. And admin building is new. I've not used that before. Maybe that's where we employ new people. It's got our flag and stuff over there. The first launch site. First foray into space. Oh, it's counting the bits and bobs as debris from our crash ship. I'm assuming we can go further than the immediate vicinity of the Space Center, given that it's a space program. Yes, we can see Jebediah and First Foray are in our tracked objects. This is our planet. This is Kerbin, and we've got the moon, also known as the Mun in this solar system, because this isn't our solar system. This isn't the Earth. As you can see, there's bits and bobs that look a bit like the Earth, but in this fictional universe, Kerbin lives in its own solar system. Kerbal, the sun, exists over there, and there's lots of different places we can go. I wonder how far out we can zoom. There's another tiny. So we've got everyone knows the moon, and the similar Mun over here. Yeah, thanks, Gene. The Mun over here we all recognise, but in the Kerbin system there's another tinier moon called Minmus, which is, I wonder we might even be able to see it from the ground. Not at the moment, because it's clearly on the other side of the planet to where our Kerbal Space Center is over here. What we can do is we can recall Jebediah and recover him and get all the science that he gathered. Look, it says he gathered a surface sample and that he survived a flight, which actually gives us some science information as well. So we'll hang on to that. And he's now ready to fly for us again. We'll probably put him into the next thing. We'll do the same with... actually, I don't know if we can do it with that debris. But we'll leave that. Look, that wasn't so bad. Let's go and see what we can unlock. Because I think... Oh, let everything load back in. I'm assuming we need to go to research and development. And use, yes, look at this, there's loads of things. We've got 14 science, it says up in the top, and all of those science points go into unlocking this tree of different things. We can unlock basic rocketry and some engineering 101. Now, it looks like they give us different parts. Yeah, we get a proper engine and some more solid fuel and a little bit of a fuel tank with basic rocketry. With engineering, it looks like we get some complicated looking things. Communications devices, thermometers, a decoupler. And we'll have to learn what a decoupler is. Well, we've got enough for both, so let's unlock both. Why not? Five science for basic rocketry, and then 5 science, and then we've got 4 science left. In fact, these are all worth 3. We can do the first 2 are worth 3. Survivability, I think we can unlock some parachutes, but that costs 8. You know, Jebediah strikes me as a bouncy Kerbal, so let's not bother trying to unlock some parachutes and things yet. He survived what we saw earlier, and there were some significant explosions. Looks like we can also unlock already things like winglets and nose cones. And no, we haven't even tried the next general rocketry has more engines and things. We haven't even tried the first proper engine yet. So let's unlock things like wings, because oh no, that says 18. What am I missing? Why does it say 3 there? Or maybe that's the tier, like how far along. Okay, so it looks like we need a lot more to research these things. Okay, well look, we've researched what we can. Let's go back to the VAB. And we've got our first foray into space. We never made it to space. We made it down the road in the direction of the greengrocers. I don't think this little solid rocket booster full of solid flammable material is going to help us. Let's go back through. We've now got a few more fuel tanks and some larger boosters. In fact, we've got an actual liquid fuel tank. Now, there's a difference between liquid and solid fuel when you're building rockets. I don't know what it is, other than that one's liquid and one's solid. But we'll learn. I think basically you can't stop solid fuel burning once it's started, whereas you can, with the use of a sensible engine, turn on and off or change how much energy the liquid fuel in here is giving off. So that looks like a slightly more sensible rocket. And I think Jebediah's Jebediah's already in it. I don't think we've got we've got a girder. There's robotic arms. We do have wings. Let's put some fins on it. We didn't put those on last time. So let's give ourselves 4 fins. Ooh. I'm holding shift to zoom in and out here. That looks like a rocket. I'd be hard pressed to not get that into space, surely. Doesn't look like there's much else we can even attach. We do have, I think these are little radio communications things. Oh, in fact, no, we've got all sorts. This looks like the science tab over here on the left, so we can put things like a thermometer out there. Let's pop a thermometer on. Let's make sure we only put one on. And if we put on a thermometer, we might be able to test the temperature of the sea that we crash into. Now, let's be positive. We might be able to test the temperature of space. Oh, it's a personal parachute. I've just realised there's cargo and things, so we can give the Kerbals parachutes. Oh, and look at this. This is all... No, let's ignore that. This is definitely Mark II. So let's launch Mark II. Hit save, and we'll go. Jebediah, I hope you're ready for this. We're going to go a lot further, I can tell. Now, I think because we've got a proper engine in some of these wings, we might be able to change the direction of flight. It's still tiny. Still a little nubbin of a rocket. Asymmetrical and all that. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Significantly less action than previously. What have we done wrong? Let me think. I've spotted it. We haven't put the throttle up. Let's turn up the throttle. Oh, there we go. We're flying. Ha! See? How hard was that? And look, we can even steer which way we're going now. No problems at all. Who said we couldn't get into space? No, really, which one of you said it? Uh-oh. I'm losing control already. We're going sideways. I specifically said we should be going sideways, and now we're out of fuel. I foresee getting into space being a little bit more difficult than I originally anticipated. I think it would have been useful to have a parachute. I've had an idea. If we make Jebediah jump out now and do his parachute. Can we do it now? Deploy chute. Why is it not working? It says... Let go. Oh, there we go. Ooh. Oh. And you see, we're okay, and our rocket exploded on impact. Now, you see, they did not have parachutes when I used to play this. I could play the game just for parachute. I've got an idea. Right. We're not getting into space anytime soon. We're going to do some parachuting. We're going to see how high we can go, and then see what strange places we can land. Do you know what? I bet we could land on top of the vehicle assembly building over here. Not now, unless... No, conservation of momentum. We don't have enough height. But I'd say we can try and land on top of the vehicle assembly building before long. Ooh, can we land on top of this one? No. It's like trying to... Looks like a... Ooh. You're alright, Jebediah. Has it been a tough day? Jebediah? Oh! He's okay. He just needed to lie down. Just needed to lie... Don't we all, Jebediah? Sometimes we just need to lie down. Let's do what we did again. Let's call him back. Is there anything... Can he do anything while he's here? Can he take another surface sample of the tarmac? We got some more science. We got it. Surface sample from mission control. That sounds useful. We're going to hang on to that. Everything else blew up, so I don't think we can recall anything else of those. I can remove my helmet. I suppose because we're on planet, in atmosphere, I can walk around without... not need anything else. I can also take an EVA report. EVA stands for Extra Vehicular Activity, which means not in the rocket. So if we make a report, it'll probably tell us something. EVA report from mission control. I don't think that a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? You're correct, although we were hoping to get into space, and so we put you in that spacesuit anyway, but right now you don't need it. We'll hang on to that. That's given us a little bit of science. I guess we can go back to the tracking station and call you home, Jebediah. Look, see? Look at all the progress we're making already. We'll recover Jebediah. And we got some more science. And Jebediah's ready to fly again. See, we're rocketing through the progress here. The birds are very loud considering there are no trees at this space centre. Right, onwards and upwards. We could try and use it to get into space. We lost control very quickly. That's what I'm worried about. And because we lost control, we ended up learning how to parachute instead. Let's try and not get into space. Let's do exactly the same thing as we did before and try and parachute on top of the VAB. That sounds like fun to me. So let's not change anything. We're going to do it again. Once more into the breach. Here we go. Long loading pauses. So this time, I've got to remember to turn up the throttle so that we're going to go... Now before, I think I stopped it about there. Let's see what happens if we launch it at full throttle. Coming right off the landing pad with all the gas. 3, 2, 1. No, let's count from 10. Let's be respectable. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go! Whoa! Yeah, that's more like it. Oh, and a bump. Oh, well, we're out of fuel already. But we're still going up because we had a lot of speed. In fact, it said we have a speed of 100 and something meters per second is pretty fast. We're going up, and then that is slowing down. We're soon going to presumably get close to 0. Yeah, look at that. In fact, we're even... Yeah, look, now we're speeding back up again. So we had a lot of speed going up, and we slowed down, and now we're speeding up as we're going plummeting back down to Earth. Let's get Jebediah out. Come on, Jeb. Oh, he's still not got his helmet on. Let's put his helmet back on as we plummet towards the Earth. Deploy the chute, and then jump on. Woo! See? That wasn't so hard. That's going to smash into the Earth, isn't it? Prepare for the boom. Nothing? Okay, then. Oh. There it is. Now, for some reason, this chute isn't opening, which is a worrying sign. Jebediah looks still a little bit nonplussed. And we're nowhere near the vehicle assembly building, which is where I'm trying to get to. How do we... Oh, there we go. It opened up. Maybe you need to be about... Maybe you need to be a certain distance from the ground. Oh, we'll get there. See? Our first mission, well, our second mission, is looking promising. We can, I guess, tilt forwards, which speeds us up. And now as we pull back, we'll use that speed. We'll use the vertical speed and turn it into horizontal speed by gaining speed as we go down, and then flattening out and turning that speed so that it points us forwards. That sounds useful. Although actually we might be too good at doing that, and we'll overshoot the VAB. So I'll go in some circles. That's what people who skydive do. I've never been skydiving. I'd like to go skydiving, but it involves being very high up, and I struggle with that. Look, there's even helicopter pads. Maybe one day we can land a helicopter on there. No! I want to land on here. Come on, Jeb. Oof! Oh, no! Told you it was bouncy. Oh, see, this is quite nice. Ugh. Up you get. You're right, Jeb. Can we take another sample while we're here? An EVA report from the VAB building. Yeah, we're hanging on to that. Did we take a sample? Oh, yeah. We're getting loads of science. We'll definitely go back on and unlock some more things. We can sprint around. I wonder if there's any way to get back up. My aim when I saw it was to get onto the helicopter pad. I wonder if this is a ladder. This looks like a ladder. Hopefully it will let us climb it. Can we climb up the ladder, please? Oh, we can. This game, climbing ladders, has been all I've ever wanted. See, look how high up we are. We're at the very... Oh, calm down. You're right, Jeb. A little wobble. See? We're higher than anything else. We're even higher than the flight tower over there. I can see the Statue of Liberty already. Very small, of course. Still need to find out what the big block is. I assume it's well, I don't know what it is. I assume it's there on purpose is what I'm trying to say. Alright, well that was useful. Let's do the same thing. I hope you're all thoroughly engaged with this entirely repetitive content. Let's recover. What should we do next? I'm thinking, and I don't know, we'll recover everything. We got 27 science out of that. That's brilliant. Let's unlock some stuff and then we'll think some more and don't make a decision. We got pretty skyward, and that's the goal. The sky is the limit, as they say. They don't say that at all in rocketry, isn't it? Because everything in space is above the sky, so the sky really isn't the limit. The sky is the first obstacle. The sky is I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. Alright? I've got a screen full of icons and I don't know what any of them are. Let's see what some of the stuff at the end is. What is all this stuff? Fuel and aerospace tech. This all looks way too confusing. These look like you can build planes and satellites. Experimental electrics. Thermoelectric generators. Let's stick with tiny engines and tiny parachutes. Do you know what we should do? We'll try and use some of the science stuff. We'll try and go somewhere else and try and gather some temperature readings, because we have a thermometer, don't we? What we could do is use some of our fantastic 27.6 science and unlock a larger fuel tank, because the first fuel tank runs out. So let's do that. And that's what we've got. Okay, see, that wasn't hard. Back to the VAB. And do you know what we're going to do? Because we want to land this thing so that we can keep the thermometer. So let's pop one of those friendly little... where are they? I can't find it. Parachutes. Someone shout really loud when you see a parachute. Ah! Found it. Sorry. I scared myself. Right, so we'll pop a parachute on top of there. Let's put some bigger fuel tanks on and see how far we can go. It's not... well, it's not the biggest fuel tank. This is beginning to look more and more like a rocket. I feel like we should change the title though. First foray into space sounds a little bit too ambitious, considering that we've flown a few times and we've got nowhere near space. So let's say first foray into next door neighbours. Have I spelled neighbours right? Garden. First foray into next door neighbour's garden. Mark 3. This is the third iteration, and now we've got a parachute on it, and we've got our engine and a lot more fuel, and we've got a thermometer. So look, we can learn so much. I was about to say the sky's the limit again. The sky's never the limit. The space is the limit. Black holes maybe. Let's go. Let's fly. Let's send Jebediah to where no Kerbal has ever been before. The adjacent beach. I always think the rocket's going to look very grand. If we zoom in, look, it's brilliant. It's massive. It looks like the Saturn V. But compared to everything else, it's perspective in the universe, isn't it? Alright. We'll turn up the throttle. What's this? SAS. I wonder what happens if we turn those on. Let's leave the SAS on. And we're going to launch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Look, we're flying. This is looking far more stable. What have we done differently? Well, I suppose we've done the SAS differently. Can I turn still? I can still turn. But actually, that's way more stable. I'm going to have to learn what I did with the SAS. Where are we going? We've got, the fuel. I mean, the fuel's run out now. Oh dear. The fuel has run out. But that was a far more stable flight than before. Before it would flip over. Those islands. We're going to want to get to some of those islands, I think. See, look, we're flying. In fact, the sky's dark enough that we could almost argue that we're nearly in space. We're going to want this parachute to cut before long. But I bet if we cut it, because the parachute's linked there, it's going to want to pull us back that way. Let's turn ourselves around and cut it. Oh, no, now we're just... Okay, well now we're flying backwards. Look, sometimes rockets have to fly backwards. Don't ask me why, but they do. We're considerably further away. We might be about to crash into the sea. We're considerably further away than we've ever gotten before. I think from our little base here. We are travelling at 211.5 meters per second, which I don't think is the best speed to impact the ground at. Let's pull up. Let's do our shoots. Deploy shoot. Oh, see, look, that's slowing us down. Not by a huge amount, but I mean, every little helps, as the famous supermarket franchise says. Now we're still tilted forwards. I wonder if the SAS holds us in position. Oh yeah, yes, I've turned it off and we seem to be kind of going with the flow now. So maybe the SAS is designed to hold us in place. We'll have to find out what SAS stands for. The chute is deployed because it looks like we've gotten low enough. Oh, see, this is great. This is going far too well. I was expecting for us to have many more explosions. 9 meters per second. Who can convert that into kilometers per hour? I probably could, but it involves far too much thinking, and I'm playing a game like Kerbal Space Program, which well, I was about to say it doesn't need thinking. It needs a lot more thinking than I'm giving it credit for. There are some very clever people out there. I love a little bit of Matt Lown, Scott Manley, Chris Hadfield. I don't know if you've ever played Kerbal Space Program, but Chris Hadfield's a fantastic astronaut that you can learn a lot about on YouTube. I think you'd find it quite amusing if he's not played it already. Hopefully we don't explode when we hit the ground. Oh, a bit exploded, but Jebediah's fine. We're only slightly rolling down the hill, and do you know what's important? Our thermometer has not exploded, and we're going to need that. Now my hope is that we'll come to a stop. Oh, which we've done. We've come to a stop. My one worry, let's have a look from inside. Yeah. The window that we climb out of is against the ground. How does Jebediah expect to climb out? This all looks very complicated. Let's come out of there. How? Oh dear. Jebediah. Oh, great. Well, now I'm stuck. How do I get out of here? Oh, there we go. I pressed the button. Let's see if we can... Oh, we can roll around. Oh, I think it's probably because we've got Jebediah in there that we can roll things around. Let's come out. Out you pop. Still faithfully clinging on to the ladder outside. Let's see if we can... I think this is possibly one of the wildest successes I ever could have expected. You know, only a bit of the rocket blew up. Jebediah, bouncy as ever, and we're going to collect some science from the thermometer. Let's log the temperature from our thermometer. Temperature scan can only be externally controlled by a scientist. What do you mean by a scientist? What's Jebediah? I'll have to find that out. Alright then, well, let's take a soil sample anyway. Oof. Oh, fell over. It's alright, Jeb, it happens to everybody. Right, let's shall we plant another flag? What should we call this? Oop. Next door neighbours, have I spelled that right? Garden. I can't think of anything funny to say in the plaque text. Always brush your teeth. At least twice a day. That wards off against plaque. Take an EVA report. Yeah, we've got some bit more science. We'll keep that. We'll take another surface sample. We've got more science from that. Look, no one can complain that we're not trying. Let's go back to the tracking station. Bring Jebediah home. Do you know what? I think we're going to need to try and get into space now. It's getting a bit silly. We've gotten adjacent to the space station enough times. We earned 11.5 science. Jebediah has been into space a bit. So, we're running out of fuel very early. That's the problem. It runs out of gas. And then we end up plummeting back to Earth. So, we could add some more fuel tanks. Let's just put a heap of fuel tanks on and see what happens. How bad can it be? And we could put some solid rocket boosters on there. Shall we just attach the solid rocket booster like that and see what happens? I don't think that's how rockets are supposed to. Right, well, this is clearly MK4, the most superior of all of them. We're not going to see any problems with this. Let's have a launch and see what happens. Jebediah, I hope you're going to be okay with this. I don't foresee any problems with this launch. I don't think anything could possibly go wrong. For that reason, I'm just going to launch unceremoniously. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa! So, Jebediah didn't survive that one. I don't think that's a good thing. So we've learned a lesson. If you put a solid rocket booster sideways on the side of a rocket, it will spin uncontrollably and blow up everyone involved. Thankfully, we can revert that. We can go back in time and take this off. So that was an experiment. We learned something. The experiment may have been fairly disastrous, but thankfully, I guess time travel exists in this universe. And we can go back and do it again without whatever caused it to go wrong. Let's do this. Every second we have something that looks more and more like a rocket that's definitely going to get us into space this time. Right. Awkward loading silence. Nothing can go wrong. I don't see any problems. I see no problems whatsoever. 10 minutes in Super Full 2 1 go. Perfect. We're going up. Oh, we didn't turn on the SAS. Let's leave that on. We still need to find out what it is. Remind me to find out what SAS stands for. We're still not even halfway through our fuel. We're going up. We're now 3,000 metres, 3 kilometres. How far is that in miles? Go up in the sky. The sky is getting darker. I can see the moon. The rocket has definitely broken speed of sound. We're travelling at 600, nearly 700 metres per second. That's fast. We're moving so fast, this might be a problem. We're now burning up in the atmosphere, exiting the planet. We've made a rocket that's too efficient. But looks like this is us, and that is how far into space we're gonna get. Look, still going. Still going. This is fine. Our engine is red hot because it got a bit toasty. Everything else seems fine. Jebediah seems happy. We're definitely very... Look, there's the spaceport. This looks like we're in space, guys. We did it. I think the trick is to stay in space. If we go here, this little blue line tells us what the direction our rocket will take. And because do you remember at the very beginning we went up and then we got and stopped at a certain point and then came back down? That, the thing that says AP, the apoapsis, is kind of the highest we're ever going to go. Thankfully, it's at 412,000, I can't read, 412,252 metres, which is pretty high. It's definitely in space, but when we get to that point, we'll start speeding up and coming back down. At the moment, all of the energy that we put into flying ourselves away from the planet has gone into stretching us to go this high. I have a plan, and the plan is to get Jebediah out again in EVA and get him to do a crew report. We'll take some measurements, right? How hard can that be? EVA report. Recorded from space just above Kerbin's grasslands. We get some science. No problems whatsoever. He seems happy. I wonder... Can he... Can we make him float around? We'll have to learn that. Because I don't want to let go in case I can't get him back on. Let's let go. I've let go. Oh, grab it. I need to learn how to make him float around because I know he's got a little rocket pack that he can use, but I don't know what button it involves. I want to try it anyway. Alright, let go. Okay, well I'm spinning. How do we do it? Well, we're still not even at the top of where we're trying to go. Where's the planet? Hello, planet. Gosh, it's pretty, isn't it? It's very quiet up here. Significantly less birds. The only birds you'll be able to hear now are the ones outside my window, which are lovely, but noisome. Right. Oh, we press R. I knew I remembered that. That means... Oh, we can float around. We're in space. Oh, look how happy he is. There we go, Jebediah. I knew I remembered something. Now we've got a minor problem in that the rocket is now floating away from us, or rather we are floating away from the rocket. Let's try and get back on. I'm going to press forwards. And we'll... Oh, see, that wasn't so hard. No problems there at all. Oh, okay, we did bump into the rocket, and now we've gone past it. Jebediah is not foreseeing any problems. Therefore, I'm not foreseeing any problems. Let's do that again. Let's come back. Let's be a bit quicker. Oh, no. Oh, no, now we've got the rocket spinning, which can't be very good. We've knocked it off angle. I don't know what that was meant to do. I've got an idea. Do you think we can make it flip all the way over? I think it didn't keep spinning because we've got the SAS, whatever that stands for. What does SAS stand for? Sausages and science. No, we can do better than that. Smiles are strange. Okay, well. Okay, yeah, we could totally play a game of like pinball or what pinball? Skittles or something. Skittles bowling. Well, now we do have a minor problem in that Jebediah looks a little bit unhappy and he's now spinning through space. Oh, he's okay. He's come back. Let's get back on the ship. I feel like that's an important thing to do. Now, because you've got to kind of always always counteract the direction you're going in, because there's nothing to slow you down. On Earth, if you're flying in a particular direction, all the air and stuff around you will slow you down if you're flying anyway. Pilots know this. Air can really get in the way. Doesn't feel like it, but it does. Whereas in space, if you use your little jetpack here to fly upwards, you're going to keep flying upwards and the rocket's going to float away from you until you make yourself fly downwards again. But then you can go too far and you can zigzag backwards and forwards, as we've just seen. Now, thankfully, we haven't gone too far away from the rocket, so I'm going to try and get back on now. Oh, I saw a button to let me get on. Let me get on! Nope. Not as easy as it looks, friends. Great, I'm there. We've got a board. I don't know what this is. Do we still have that temp? Do you know what? We need to take the temperature. Oh, we can't. It said we can't take a temperature without a scientist. Alright, we're going to have to learn how to take a scientist with us next time. Oh, it looks like I can do it from outside of here. Oh, we get some science. Okay, maybe if it has to be done when you're controlling Jebediah, then Jebediah needs to be a scientist. Well, look, there's where we came from. And it looks like we're near the highest point. I'm going very slowly now. Yeah, we've slowed right down. We were going at a few thousand meters per second when we were all the way down there. But now we slow down almost to a complete stop. And then I expect we'll start speeding up. What we can do in Kerbal Space Program, especially when it comes to these very slow moments where we're moving very slowly compared to where we want to go, we can speed up time. So we can time warp to about 5 times. And look, now we're going at what looks to be a little bit faster, even though we've just sped up time a bit. So then our speed is now slowed down all the way to only 80 meters per second. And when we get past the apoapsis, that's that little AP sign just there, we'll start speeding up. So this is going to get, oh look, 76 point, and now we're speeding up again, 77, and it's going up, and it's going to 78, and we're going to start speeding up all the way until presumably we smack into the mountainside down there. But we came prepared. We have one tiny parachute, and that's going to save us, I bet. So let's fast forward time just a little bit until we get closer towards smacking in and into the planet, and then we'll deploy our parachute. Hopefully we won't have any problems. Looks like the world is revolving around us because Kerbin is down the space station is down there, but our trajectory, this blue line, is moving westwards, which means that the planet must be rotating easterly or moving to the right, which makes sense. That's what the Earth does. So now look, we're travelling really quickly. We're going at 1200 meters per second. That's very high. In fact, I'm going to slow us down. Not slow us down, but I'm going to slow time down so we can watch it all happen a bit more sensibly. We're still plummeting towards the Earth. We made it into space. That was our first mission for the first day. And we went to the next door neighbour's garden. And we've managed to successfully drift to the other side. This is going to be a lot more the next door neighbour's garden. Before, we were over here, I think, on the eastern side of this continent, just to the north of the space centre. Whereas now I have a feeling we're going to land further over here to the west, on the western coast. We're travelling very quickly. In fact, I wonder if it's worth opening the parachute now. Oh, well, nothing has happened. And I've just realised why. There's no air. And if there's no air, then you can't fill a parachute. And if the parachute isn't filled, then you then I guess you don't slow down. But we'll meet air eventually. Look, it's not a problem, you know. We'll meet the challenge as it approaches. Well, we're approaching the planet pretty quickly. In fact, yeah, that's what I was expecting to happen. We're now burning up in the atmosphere. This was something I should have anticipated. I'd not thought of this. Oh, okay, we're burning up pretty quickly. It looks like the fins on our rocket have exploded. That's not so bad. Oh, okay, that's a bit of a problem. We're now plummeting upside down directly towards the ground. I hope that our parachute might open. I wouldn't call that a mission success. It looks like we've not yet successfully gotten... No, we successfully got to space. Getting back is now the next pressing problem. We go too fast, we get too hot. Alright, well let's revert that. We just missed 16 minutes of... We'll pretend it never happened. We can't keep any of the science because we weren't able to bring it back. We could technically use the satellites and things to send it back, but then I think we only get about like a quarter of the numbers, and we want as much science as possible. Science is great. Let's find out what SAS stands for, because I feel like science is a good one. SAS. Where would we even look? Is there a help button? Oh, this looks about right. Flight interface. There's lots to learn in here. I'll have to find out later. Can I search anywhere? No. This is great though. It looks like there's so much information in here. I didn't have any of this when I was starting. Look at all this stuff. We can learn so much. Alright, well, we still need to find out what SAS stands for. What I'm going to do, I think we'll call this a day now. It's almost an hour we've been on here. We've learned a lot. We've learned that with a rocket, you never attach a solid rocket booster sideways onto the side of the rocket, otherwise it spins out and everything explodes. We've learned that if you try and re-enter the atmosphere too quickly, your rocket heats up too much and then you explode. We've learned that... what else have we learned? Well, more fuel. We've got further with more fuel. That seemed to help us. That's a positive we can take away. We didn't explode just from having too much fuel. Parachutes are decent. Parachutes are safe. I think with Kerbal Space Program, things exploding is par for the course. So maybe we'll have to deal with this parachute issue later. But for now, I'm going to call it a day. And I'm going to bid you all farewell. So I'm also going to learn how to switch to the outro image. Let's give that a try. Thank you everyone for watching. So long.